Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're checking out the guitar parts for Lucky Man by the Verve. So to start the song off, we're going to check out the main chord progression for Lucky Man, and it's a really nice and fun one. We've only got a handful of chords to play. We're going to be doing a G, a D, and an A sus4. And for the G chord, I quite like to take off my index finger from that second fret of the A and just mute it. And for the D chord, if you like, we can change between the full D chord and taking off our middle finger to make it a D sus2. And with the A sus4, it's essentially like our normal A chord, just going to push up our ring finger there from the second fret of the B to the third. I'm not going to hold your hand too much with the strumming pattern or the rhythm with this. Essentially, we want to keep it into a nice kind of 16 beat. If ever you get lost, just follow the drums. It's just going to sound like this. So you'll notice there, within that kind of 16 beat rhythm, you can choose to accent some of the down and up strokes. You can be a little bit creative with it. Anyway, the great thing about that progression is that it covers the introduction, the verse, and the chorus, which means the only part that we need to talk about is going to be the sort of pre-chorus progression, and that just follows an E minor to G to D and back to the A sus4, and that just goes like this. We're now going to have a look at the introduction lead guitar, and it features some of the most iconic guitar in the song. What we're going to do is we're going to have a look at the example, then we're going to have a look at the pedal settings that I'm using, or kind of ideas for that, and then we're going to break down the actual part itself. Let's check it out. So let's quickly review the pedal settings then. And today I'm using a Memory Man by Electro Harmonics. It just so happens to be the delay pedal which I own. I haven't used it in a very long time, so you have to excuse me for not cleaning it up properly. Anyway, hopefully the settings I talk about should be reasonably universal for your Boss DD7 or your flashback delay, or whichever pedal setup you've got. I know those are both quite popular. This isn't an exact science, but it should give you some reasonable interpretation or indication to what this kind of sound is that we're going for. So let me talk you through the relevant information then. So I've put it on a 3-second delay, sort of fairly standard delay time, and the most important dial amongst all of these is going to be the repeats dial, and that's just the amount of repeats which is going to be produced. And the thing to remember with this is that we really just want to have a representation of the lick that we're going to be playing, or the riff that we're playing. We really don't want too many repeats. We don't want it to go on forever or to create a U2 song or anything like that. We want maybe 2-3 repeats max, and we want them to echo out as well. That's the sound that we're going for. So really treat the amount of repeats you do as quite a minimal affair there. Let me talk you through the rest of the dials then. I've got a blend dial here, which is just the signal strength. So if you turn that down, the effect will just turn off. Then we've got the decay setting next to it, and that's another one that we may have to tweak around with depending on what pedal you've got. And decay is just the amount of time which goes by before the repeat fade out into nothing. So that's something to be wary of. We want the repeats to sort of echo out for a little bit of time. Although we don't have many of them, we do want them to be quite prominent. So have a little think about that. We've also got the filter dial next to that as well, which is just a high or low pass filter. So if you were to turn that all the way down, the repeats would be very sort of low and thuddy sounding. And similarly, if you were to turn that all the way up, the repeats would be very high and tinny. So we'll put that slap bang in the middle. We don't really want either or there. And like I said, obviously there's a repeats dial there, and next to that is the delay dial, and that's just the rate at which the delays will kick in. So if you were to play a note and increase that, there'll be a greater time between you playing that note and that 3-second delay kicking in. Hopefully that talk on delay was helpful. We're now just going to have a look at the guitar part for what it actually is when we play it without any of the effects. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to start by sliding into the 9th fret of the G. I'm just going to let that ring out. You can play it a few times if you want, or however you want to do it, and that's basically just to get the sort of atmosphere of the song going, get the feel of the piece. After the chords go round, we're then going to play that iconic lick. So we're going to play an open E, hammering onto the 3rd, open B, hammering onto the 3rd fret again, and then open 2nd on the G. And then we'll let the delay do the work for the rest of that. We're then going to let the chords go round again, and then we're going to do this lick. And I should mention, for this part, I like to turn the delay off, because it gets a little bit confusing with the amount of notes that you play there. So we're going to do an open D, and then we're going to play the 2nd fret of the D, and then pull that off. Then 2nd fret of the A. Open D, open A, and then go to the 5th fret of the D and slide down to the 2nd. Or you can pull it off to the 2nd, however you want to do it. However you want to do it, we're then going to turn the delay back on as we let the chords go round another time. And then we're going to do some octaves up at the 9th fret of the G and the 12th of the E. We're then going to pause and then take that down 2 frets to the 7th fret of the G and the 10th of the E. And then we're going to take the pinky finger from the 10th fret of the E down to the 9th fret and play that. And then we're going to slide it down. Then we're going to go back to the iconic lick, and then we'll be well on our way into the verse there. got a spare guitar handy, there's also going to be a third bit of guitar in that introduction. It plays a really simple part, but it definitely is there in the song and it does sound quite good. It just goes like this. We follow the chords from G to D and then the A sus4. And when we get to the A sus4, we're going to do this riff. It's a kind of A7 kind of riff. We're going to be sliding into the 4th fret of the D, 3rd on the B, and then we're going to take the D 1 fret up to the 5th fret of the D and the 5th fret of the B now. It's quite a simple part in the introduction, but you can definitely hear it and it's great to add if you've got the option. There's also going to be a bit of lead guitar in the chorus, and again it's quite a simple part, and we're going to be building off of that kind of A7 idea we briefly spoke about with the introduction. It just sounds like this. So for that, we're going to be back into the sort of land of A7, as some people call it. We're going to go from the G to the D, and then we're going to do this. We're going to have our A7 set up here, which is 2nd fret of the D there, open G, 2nd fret of the B, open E. And we're going to play it sort of backwards. We're going to do the open E, 2nd fret of the B, and then we're going to jump to the 2nd fret of the D. We're then quickly going to play the 2nd fret of the D another time and slide it up to the 4th fret. And then get our index finger in position there at the 3rd fret of the B. And then go to our next shape, 1 fret up on the D, 5th fret, and then 5th fret on the B as well. And then we're going to take that shape up another 2 frets to the 7th fret. And then bring it down again. And do it again. We're now going to talk about the lead guitar for the second chorus, and this is a really extended part. It goes on for quite a considerable time and it uses a lot of repeated licks and variations on top of that. I'm going to show you the example in just a moment where we'll be zoomed in on the fretboard so you can see what I'm doing there, but essentially we're going to be using the relative major, relative minor theory, and if you're not familiar with that, that's absolutely fine. Put simply, we're going to be based around our E minor pentatonic pattern 1, so from the 12th fret onwards, maybe a little bit of pattern 2 as well, so hopefully you know that one. And a lot of the licks that we're going to be doing, they resolve to either kind of E notes or G notes basically. Anyway, good luck, check this out.
It's just a change of something.
So that was my lesson on Lucky Man by the Verve. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you've enjoyed it. I'll catch you on the next lesson.